I was organizing and cleaning all my stuff, and I came across with my old graphite pencil brands right here. So these were the different graphite brands that I used over the years. Some of them are even 5 years old already. So I thought, why not try to compare them side by side in terms of, well, I have four categories. One is the values or the darkness that it can provide. Second one is the layering ability, the smoothness in terms of layering on paper. The third one, I think we should grade it based on the blendability. So I'm going to be using tissue to blend, and then the erasability. If can it can be easily erased. So if we can create good highlights using this graphic pencil. So I've tried all of them, but I haven't tried to see and how they are different and the same with each other side by side right here. So join me with this very short battle of graphite pencils. So to have a fair battle, I chose the same grade. So all of these seven graphite pencils are B grades. So I think the B is the most useful grade in my opinion. So let's try all the Bs with this graphite brands right here. Are you ready? Let's start. So we're going to start with the most famous. I think here in Asia or in the Philippines, the most famous is the Staedtler Mars Lumograph graphite pencil right here. So let's layer it with two different strokes or pressure. So let's start with a light pressure. So let's see how smooth this pencil is going to be. So this is quite smooth, and I understand why this is a very famous, or a lot of artists, portrait artists, use this Mars Lumograph. I don't know, but there are artists who says that Mars Lumograph is not pure graphite, and I'm not sure. Let me, if you have knowledge about this Mars Lumograph, let me know. What can you say about people saying that this is not pure graphite? But this, as you can see, even with light pressure, it produces very nice dark value right here. So let's give it a little bit of a pressure, because maybe a medium pressure, not hard pressure, because it's going to bloom, because this is graphite, and we want to avoid the shine of the graphite as much as possible. So I think the most pressure here is a medium pressure, just to make sure that the darkness is going to come out of the B pencil right here. So even if I'm pressing medium pressure right here, it still layers very nice and smooth on paper. And yeah, that's why I think this is a very nice pencil for skin tones, because as you can see, with light pressure, it's very nice and smooth, and it goes really dark, even if this is just a B pencil. Now let's try erasing. So with the clean part of the tissue right here, so let's try to blend them together and to smoothen everything with the tissue. It's really nice and very nice and smooth right here. So yeah, this is a very good pencil, the Mars Lumograph pencil. So so for those who use this pencil, I know that you really find it very nice to use, especially for portraits and for skin tones. Now let's try the second pencil, the Colleen. So the Colleen pencil, I think this is a student grade pencil, unlike the Mars Lumograph, which is, I think, going to the artist grade category. But this one, the Colleen, this is quite cheaper, and I think this is just a student grade graphite. So let's layer it right here. I forgot to erase the Mars Lumograph. Let's try to erase some parts. Very nice, very erasable, even with the medium pressure right here. So you can just create nice textures and highlights. The Kulin, it feels not as smooth to layer compared to the Mars Lumograph. It's a little bit scratchy on paper. Now let's give it a little bit of a pressure right here, medium pressure. Yeah, it's not as smooth. It still nice and smooth, but not as smooth as the Lumograph, and it has a little bit of a scratchy feeling to it when I layer it on paper. Now let's start to blend it. It's as blendable, not as blendable compared to Mars Lumograph, but you can still blend it quite nicely. Yeah, and it doesn't produce the same dark value as the Mars Lumograph, but yeah, it's still nice, still like graphite pencil. Now let's try our third pencil. This is not very popular. I don't know why. This is the Toyson Dior. This is that B pencil, the black pencil right here. It looks really good, but let's try it. Let's layer it on paper. For some reason, this is very, as you can see, it's very noisy. It means that it's quite scratchy and not smooth compared to the Lumograph right here, which is a little bit, there's a feeling that the Lumograph is a little bit oily, but this one is a little bit dry. But it produces quite nice dark value right here. It's better when you put pressure with this pencil, but when you layer it with light pressure, it's not quite good. It doesn't, the pigment doesn't, quite, it's not as easy to layer compared to the first two, especially with the Lumograph. But when you add pressure, it's quite smooth right here. Yeah, a little bit scratchy, but it's fine. And it's quite dark too. Now let's try to blend it. Yeah, not as blendable. I think it's more comparable to the Colleen compared to the Lumograph, which is nice and smooth. It has been the what do you call it? It has been the first one. We should compare the rest of the pencil because this is really nice, especially for skin tone. So we are focusing here on graphite pencils, B grades, great for skin tones, and so far this is what I think is the best, especially with the feeling of layering it on paper. I like it's buttery and smooth. Now let's try the two Mitsubishi pencils. The first one is the student Mitsubishi, which is the Mitsubishi Uni, and this one is the artist grade, which is the more expensive, the Mitsubishi High Uni. So let's try the cheaper Mitsubishi Uni right here. It's still B, so let's try it to layer it lightly. Yeah, it's quite very nice in terms of the smoothness also, and it's quite dark, even if you use light pressure, and then you apply harder pressure right here. Yeah, it's kind of odd to think that it doesn't have much difference with light layering in the medium pressure, so it doesn't darkens in terms of values compared to the Lumograph right here. And this is smooth, but not as smooth compared to the Lumograph, but a little bit smoother compared to these two right here. Now let's try to blend it. Wait, this is still blendable, but not as easy to blend compared to the Lumograph right here. Now let's try to do the erasing. Let's do the erasing with the Colleen first right here. This is the Colleen, erase really nice, and then Toys and Dior also. Okay, with this also all great in terms of erasing. With the blending, I still find the Mars Lumograph the best in terms of layering and the blending so far. So maybe because this three is on the cheaper version of graphite, but they are all B pencils. Now let's try the expensive Mitsubishi Uni pencil. So it's the Mitsubishi High Uni. So this is my current graphite right here. This is what I've been using recently. So let's try it with light pressure. And I hope you can see why this is my current favorite pencil because it layers very nice and smoothly and fine on paper right here. And if I try to put medium pressure, it's still nice and buttery and smooth. Very comparable to the Mars Lumograph, but I think it's a little bit finer. And I think by just layering, you don't need too much blending with this pencil because it's already very nice and smooth, quite dry, not as wet as the Lumograph, but very fine. Uh, Very fine layering right here, and let's try to blend it. And it even darkens. The value even darkens after blending it right here. So that's a sign of a nice graphite pencil. So it should not fade when you blend it, and that's what gives me the value that it gives me. Let's try to erase it right here. Perfect, perfect for erasing. Even if you don't put much pressure on your eraser, you can just pick up for details and for highlights. So this is, I think it's a little bit better in terms, not in terms of darkness, but because for some reason the Lumograph still produce a very dark value compared to this, but this is a lot smoother and it has a better feel when you layer it on paper. So maybe if you use darker grades with this, you can achieve the darkness of the Lumograph pencil. And maybe a lot of artists prefer this one compared to this expensive pencil because this it produced very nice output, but it's cheaper, a lot cheaper compared to the Mitsubishi Uni. But I like the Uni because I am more on the, as you can see here, this Uni it's perfect for very, very detailed skin tones like this one. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to achieve recently, the hyper realistic drawing. That's why I prefer the Mitsubishi Uni. But if you want more contrasty and not so detailed, but very nice realistic drawings, Lumograph. I really love the Lumograph pencil also. Now let's try the FC 9000, the Faber-Castell 9000. It's very much available here in the Philippines. A lot of these pencils are on SM malls here in the Philippines, on SM Store. They have these pencils, and they have lots of grades. I think up to 9B of this Faber-Castell 9000. So again, this is a B pencil. This is not, I think it is the same price of the Lumograph right here. So let's see. Yeah, from the initial impression, this is quite smooth, but doesn't produce as dark value compared to the Lumograph and the Mitsubishi and the rest. It's a little bit darker, but this one, for some reason, is quite pale in terms of the value. And then let's try to give it some pressure. Yeah, even if you put pressure, it doesn't uh, get as dark compared to some of these pencils above. So and it's smooth, but not quite as smooth as the Lumograph and the Mitsubishi Hi-Uni. So let's try to blend it. Okay, so that is the problem right here. So it's quite hard to blend compared to these pencils above. So maybe that's the reason why a lot of people are not using. I don't know why. Just the impression that this Faber-Castell 9000 is not usually used for skin tones. They are used primarily for with. I saw a lot of artists, especially on YouTube, use FC 9000 for animal drawings or for still lifes and even for objects, but not usually for the skin tone. And maybe that is the reason why, because this is more of drawing other things compared and not usually used for realistic skin tone, but still a nice pencil. And then let's try the most expensive pencil that I tried, and I don't know why I bought this very expensive graphite pencil right here. So pricey. This is a Caran Dash Graphwood pencil. Now let's see if it can keep up to its price, which is a little bit too expensive for a common portrait artist. So let's try it. So first, with light pressure right here. Okay, so maybe that's why, because this is buttery smooth right here. So you don't, I think you don't even need to blend it because it's not scratchy at all. It's so smooth, the layering paper, smooth as butter right here. And then let us add a little bit pressure. Yeah, it's still so smooth. Even if I'm adding pressure right here, I don't even need to blend it, I think, because it's still it's already very smooth. So I think minimal blending is needed. So I think that's the reason why this pencil is very expensive. But I don't, because of the price, I don't, if you can afford it, why not? Why not? So you can try this one. This is the Graphwood. You will enjoy it because this is very nice. So with a little bit blending, it really blends even well, and it produces very dark value as well. So yeah, similar darkness with the Lumograph, but this is a lot smoother. Uh, Feels like butter on paper. Now let's try to erase the FC 9000. Yeah, very erasable. And then the expensive Caran d'Ache Graphwood. Very nice. Very nice. So this is a very quick comparison of different brands of graphite B grade pencils. So it's up to you. You can never go wrong with these pencils. Some pencils have negative or what you call this disadvantages, but this can still create very nice drawing. So if you are practicing drawing, and you don't want to spend a lot of money for graphite, you can try the cheaper ones right here. And this is the luminance. It's super great. I really love how it feels on paper, and it's not very pricey, so you can never go wrong with this pencil. This is on the more expensive side, but this is very smooth and very great for details, as you can see right here. This is what I use for this eye drawing right here. And then the FC 9000, still good, I think, for portraits, but you cannot have this dark value as you would need. Maybe for fair skin tone, and the skin tones we don't that doesn't have huge contrast. Maybe you can use the 9000 of the Faber Castell. And then the Graphwood, if you can afford it, get it, because this is a very, what do you call this, excellent graphite pencil. So these are just a quick testing of different graphite pencils. And yeah, uh, watch out for the tutorial for this drawing right here. I think I used a combination of the Mitsubishi Hi-Uni and the Graphwood with this drawing. I think I used the B of the Graphwood right here, and then the 4B, and then the nine. I use the 9B. I have the 9B of the Graphwood right here. This is the B of the Caran d'Ache Graphwood that I tried, and this is the dark one, the 9B, and yeah, and I used it right here on this drawing. So thank you for watching. I hope you find this. I don't know, just try to see the behavior of each graphite pencils for shading, realistic skin tone. So let me know in the comment section what you think, and if you have any question, just feel free to ask. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time with this comparison video right here. So thank you. See you next time.